Folks, Derek, that ADU guy here. Wanted to go over the difference between a tiny house and an ADU, also known as an accessory dwelling unit or a guest house or a granny flat. The terminology differs depending on the region that you're in. I get asked a lot by folks that I know and people that reach out to me, and they say, "Hey, I want a tiny house. What's the difference between a tiny house and an accessory dwelling unit?" So I figured I'd throw a quick video up. These definitions are definitely up for interpretation. This is the lingo that I've been hearing and using and adapting to over the last 25 years. So a tiny house, this movement that's coming out, is usually 400 square feet or less. About 75% of the time, people think they're on wheels. They can be on wheels, on a trailer. They can also be built fairly permanently. But I would say the demarcation between a tiny house and an ADU is an ADU is permitted and a tiny house is not. So a lot of these community members come to me and they say, "Hey, we have this housing crisis. We have this problem. We could solve it with these tiny houses." And that is a good point, and there's a lot of reasons that we could do that. But the number one deterrent is International Code Council, building and fire and life safety codes. So the real difference between a tiny house and an accessory dwelling unit is an accessory dwelling unit is going to be an allowable use in the zone. It's going to be permitted. It's going to be attached to a concrete foundation and bolted down, and you're going to have to go through the building process as you would with any other dwelling. So I see people investing in purchasing these tiny homes or spending $50,000 in 6 months of their time building these tiny homes, and then they park it in the backyard, and the neighbor calls the city or the county or the municipality and says, "Hey, is this a legal deal? Because I want to do one," and they say no, and you end up with a code violation and you lose all this money. So tiny houses are kind of temporary. There are some legislative actions happening, at least in the Northwest that I'm familiar of, where cities are trying to make those an allowable use. But with the fire and life safety and building code specifications, it makes it really, really hard for those to qualify as a dwelling, either primary or secondary or accessory. So those are the main differences between an ADU and a tiny house. Thanks for your time. Hope everybody's having a great day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, but more than that, please use the information that you're going to find in these series to help somebody else build an ADU or take action yourself. Derek signing out.